Like UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Revival City Church presents Rededicate 2017 with Reverend Dr. Nunu and Reverend Mrs. Nunu. This year, God's servant, the prophet Gideon Danso, all the way from Ghana, Empowerment Worship Center. Last year was full of testimonies, and you wouldn't want to miss this year's edition. God is about to rededicate all that concerns you. Save the dates. Wednesday 20th to Sunday 24th September 2017. All happening at the Revival City Church, Unit 16, 1 to 11 Willow Lane, Mitcham, CR4 4NA. Seasonal word, the prophetic and pure worship with God's trumpet, Nathaniel Bassi from Nigeria. Also on the worship bill, City Praise, Minister Angela and Colina Archipia. Wednesday 20th through to Sunday 24th September 2017. Time, Wednesday and Thursday, 6:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Friday, 6:30 p.m. to 12 midnight. Worship night with Nathaniel Bassi on Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Then we crown it all on Sunday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Contact 077-54-382-831. Rededicate 2017. Come and experience God on a whole new level.
Hallelujah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right, hello once again. Good evening. This is Starr Radio, and thank you for tuning in and logging on to Starr Radio UK. My name is Frank Davis, and this evening, when it's Tuesdays at exactly 8 o'clock, but we apologize for the late start of the program. We bring you the Big Questions program, one of your favorite program on this radio. Here we talk tough, we asked questions, things that actually disturb us, or we might be thinking about, sometimes things that we even don't have knowledge about, but help basically affecting our progress on one way or the other. So we bring experts, people with in-depth knowledge and who have opinions on those critical issues onto this platform to come and have a conversation with you. And this evening we actually privileged to have one of such individuals. He's actually studied a lot into the topic we're going to talk about, and we're looking at the darker side of Ghana, a typical case of the challenges within African culture. When we talk about culture in Africa, what is culture? What is the difference between culture and tradition? Lola couldn't be in the studio today because there's an emergency, and that was one reason why we delayed. But all the same, we're going to carry on the baton from where she left off last week. We're looking at the aspect of culture last week, and today wanted to step deeper into it. So wherever you are, if you're watching me on Facebook, please like our page and follow our page and share it with someone. Share the button with someone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're having a very important conversation on this platform this evening, and I welcome your calls. We're going to take our calls when the lines are open on 020-8133-2257 or 020-8133-2258. If you're in the US or Canada or Jamaica or any of the Caribbean countries, it's 001-718-303-2737. I take that again, 001-718-303-2737. Our WhatsApp globally 00447539661744. On Twitter we are at Starr Radio, Instagram at Starr Radio, and you can actually follow us. Again, my name is Frank David, and welcome again to Starr Radio, the Big Questions program. We're not going to waste time, just going to go straight to my guest this evening, and we're going to start having a conversation. Kofi, how are you doing?
Thank you very much for the privilege you have given me.
Oh, wow.
I'm doing wonderful.
Thank you for coming, Kofi. Thank you for coming.
Well, I will say thank you for having me.
Good. How has your day been?
How's my day been? It's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
Every day with us come the hope.
Good.
And the hope that we will leave this world a better place than we met it.
That's what I want to hear.
Yes.
That we all come to live when we turn back one day when we are gone. We know because of Kofi. this problem has been solved?
Thank you very much. I know a lot of great people have come into our faith. I'm not talking about faith. I'm talking about FATE, faith. That is our destiny. And a lot of them are not even fit. It's to be a privilege to tie their shoes, the lace of their shoes. They've done a wonderful job. But I think we have a lot of the job undone. And like his late Osajifo Kamikruma will say, he said, we are doing our part today.
Okay.
There will come in future people who will build greater things on what we are doing.
Okay.
So technically it's trying to say that the greater ones are yet to come. They are only laying the foundation. And so we, all of us, every young person born and bred on the continent of Africa, or who feel he's part of that continent one way or the other, is equally entrusted with that responsibility. No particular person.
All right.
But our circumstances, place and time actually is very critical in the role we are playing. And no one, Mandela, 27 years in prison. It was not only Mandela. When he was in prison, people were fighting. That people that are fighting, we call them the unknown soldiers.
Okay.
And they are those that make that great difference. Because the people who put you in prison can just shoot you, kill you.
True.
A prophet is nothing without the crowd that makes that difference. And therefore, we want to tell everyone it's a cause. And every one of us have the opportunity of making this history. And some may be known, some may not be, but never doubt your input. So we are working hard. Each day passes. The age is not on our side.
I like that part where it says, some may be known, some may never be seen, but never doubt the input you are making. Everyone must make an input. Even sometimes, for those who believe in the Bible, the good book says sometimes when you even do certain things, you shouldn't even let, if the right hand does it, you shouldn't let the left hand know. But that doesn't mean that your contribution to this Mother Earth, the Lord is not seen on whichever faith you believe in. Our listeners, this evening we're going to be looking at the darker side of Ghana, a typical case of African cultural challenge on the big question. That's what we're going to be having today. I would like to acknowledge the sponsors of this program, Lamb and Meribas. If you have immigration issues, you have serious fraud issues, mediation, care proceeding, family issues, employment issues, murder cases and other things. When it comes to immigration, I tell you what, they got 100% record when it comes to cases they've submitted to the Home Office. They look at the case, they have their own internal assessment center. If the case is not going to go through, they will not even submit it. They will tell you, let's do this, let's do it. So each case that they submit to Home Office is like, I mean, you pass an assessment stage before it gets to be sent to home, so that you don't go wasting money, throwing money, people charging you all kind of money, knowing that the application is due to fail. They don't do that. And if you like to contact them, it's 07, that's their out of office number, 077-9274-8181. Office time is 020-8253-0099. We're going to go for a sponsorship message from RVA, our other sponsors, and when we return, we will start straight with our conversation. But whilst we're going for a break, please, if you want to get a cup of tea, do. If you want to get water, do. But most importantly, call a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend not to meet this program. Share the link on your Facebook page. If you're on YouTube, please copy it and WhatsApp to someone right now, and I'll be right back.
I was in a tunnel and couldn't see the light.
Oh, nah, not again, not again. I've been duped.
Hello, Kweku. How long will you continue to fall for these unscrupulous landowners? This is the second time, huh? Do you want a hassle-free, litigation-free life when it comes to owning a property in Ghana? Look no further. Royal Valley Estates, RVE, is your answer. RVE is located at Bawaleshi near Valley View University on the Adenta to Dodowa Highway, Accra, Ghana. RVE is a gated community with 24-hour security. 300 houses will be constructed at RVE, comprising of 3-bedroom, semi-detached and 3-bedroom detached houses. The plot sizes at RVE are generous. Mortgages and flexible payment options available to qualified applicants. Rush now and own a house in Ghana. For more information, contact Pastor Joe Kissinger Anochi on 0790-479-3019. You can also contact Reverend Francis Nunu on 0744-049-4271 and also on 0744-8054-930. You can also email him at fs.nunu@gmail.com. You can also visit us at www.royalvalleyestatesgh.com. RVE, a place you can call home.
I can feel heaven is over me. I believe in the risen one. I believe I overcome.
My Journey, your one-stop destination to the supernatural on Starr Radio UK. What's the hidden truth or mysteries behind the supernatural? Do angels exist? Is healing and miracles for today? Can I hear the voice of God? What's the secret to their success in ministry or calling? Can my eyes be open to see beyond the natural? Can I operate in the gifts of the Holy Spirit? My Journey is your one-stop destination to the supernatural on Starr Radio UK. Join your host, Captain Tete, at 4 p.m. on My Journey, your one-stop destination to the supernatural.
I was covered in sin and shame.
The Prasad's Automotive provides affordable, high-quality after-sales service to Bentley and crew-built Rolls-Royce cars, charging only 60% of main dealer labour rates. We offer health checks, servicing, diagnostics, air conditioning servicing, four-wheel alignment, pre-purchase inspections, brake repairs, engine removal repairs, and dent repairs. We're a team of highly skilled engineers. David Prasad was employed at Jack Barclay for over 27 years. At the Prasad's Automotive, we have the knowledge, experience and facilities that equip us to deliver excellence and quality to our clients at a personal level.
Listen to Aunties Mary, Lottie and Regina on the Family Enrichment Programme on Starr Radio UK. This and every Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Some people are wicked because don't make it your business going about revealing
people's secrets. Don't be a busybody.
And some people. Today's typical family is under pressure from various directions. Divorce is on the increase. More and more of the Afro-Caribbean youth are taking to crime, etc. The Family Enrichment Program brings together a team of qualified experts to discuss and shed light on how we can make our families better and stronger. It is said the family can do without the society, but the society can't. Listen to the Family Enrichment Program this and every Saturday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Starr Radio UK, your favourite Afro-Caribbean radio station in London.
Download our app in iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Right, welcome back to Starr Radio. Like I said, this evening we have in our midst a very important guest. Let me just he's brought his greetings to you, but let me do a proper introduction of Mr. Kofi Ale. Was born in the city of Accra, where he spent his early life. He actually like most Ghanaians in the 80s, migrated went through Nigeria, but you know what? He's finally in the UK, where he has been involved in a lot of politics across the African country, very instrumental when it comes to ECOWAS citizen rights and all those things. So I think today we're going to hear a lot. He'll tell us a little bit, and we'll go mainly into the topic. He's actually authored a book which actually informed this topic today. And we're going to look at the book. It's a very interesting book, and we're going to take a bit of let me say it was published that's not too long ago, 2017, but I think it's a very good book and everyone must have it. Let me show, if you're watching me, that's a book, The Darker Side of Ghana. So we're going to go straight into our discussions, and yes, in your shorts now we have Mr. Kofi Ali. Kofi, do you mind if I call you Kofi?
Feel free, please.
Good. Welcome once again to the program.
Thank you very
much. Okay, tell me a little bit about who Kofi Ali is. I mean, your journey into politics.
Thank you very much.
Your journey into politics.
Yes. Actually, Kofi Ali, I would say my background, I have so many diverse background,
right.
Even from parental background. I have both sides.
Okay.
The rich and the poor.
Okay.
I grew in a community that one way I grew in both rich and poor communities. So I have advantage when you come to education. And at the point in time, I struggle like everyone else, especially in my university days. I majored in a subject called economics. However, I've always been interested in law.
Okay.
But one way or the other, I ended up being an economist. And in economics, you are like a jack of all trade. Master of none. And I'm somebody, because of our background in Ghana, before you even go to secondary school, you have to also go to middle school. So I spent time going to middle school before I got to the secondary school, West African Secondary School. From there, I have to leave because, you know, during the revolution time, things were hard, sanction and things on. But all along, as I'm traveling, I was actually experiencing and getting exposed to things. I'm somebody who like discussion. But I always have a problem with the way people look at things. And, you know, I started traveling. One of my, I taught in my early, you know, after universities, there's no job. And I tried to go private. It wasn't easy. But eventually, I ended up in the Gambia.
Right.
In the Gambia, I serve as a teacher. And that brought a new dimension to my outlook. And in going to the Gambia, unlike others who fly about, I went by road.
Wow.
And being a teacher
by road.
By road. And by road is not one day. It's just like any young man in Accra who felt he has had. He's looking, thank you. You know, I've done it before and I succeeded. I went to Nigeria to get greener pasture and I came back with BSc economics.
Okay.
So I felt, well, maybe I have to do it again. And this time, I headed towards the desert. But one way or the other, it wasn't a one day journey. I spent about 3 months,
Ghana to Gambia.
Between Ghana to Gambia, I spent close to 8 months on the road.
Journey from the east or to the east?
Actually, we're all heading towards the greener pasture. You know, it's Europe. So I ended up in the Gambia. Actually, I don't even know directly Gambia. My aim was to go to Mauritania.
Yeah, okay.
So in the Gambia, sorry, in Senegal, where I was with a boy, a young man who has no even passport. So we landed into so many problems. And there, I had to stay to raise money.
In Gambia?
So I wasn't going to the Gambia. I was going to Mauritania.
And you ended up in Senegal?
I ended up in the middle of Senegal because that's the next place to go. Then you get to Dakar and you go.
Okay.
And I had a lot of colleagues in the car as we are traveling from Mali to Senegal.
Yeah.
And some of them were actually my classmates in West African Secondary School. And they were doing everything to go with me. But there's this young man I met in Burkina Faso. He's a Bunu guy. And I just swore that I will never leave this guy, whatever happened. And most cases, they arrest him, not me. When they arrest him, then I will go to stand by him.
Okay.
Until they release him. But at the last point when we get to Senegal, when the other guys decided that, look, if you want to be moving with this boy, then they are not going to continue because there's a problem. Then I said, I'm not leaving him. So we got stranded in a place called Tambacounda. Myself and the boy.
In Senegal.
In Senegal.
Okay.
Everyone was taking the bus. I and the boy decided we will wait for the train because the train to Dakar will be cheaper. So we decided to sit somewhere, but occasionally one of us will go to the station and go and check what is happening there. This young man went to the station to go and check. The next thing I was sitting down waiting. And I gone and came back. The next thing I saw the boy with two men who called themselves gendarmerie. They came to arrest us. So they took us away, and the little amount on me was used to set us free, and they allowed us to go. Now we are stranded.
No, hold on. If you say was used to set you free, what exactly do you mean? Bribe
they agree. You know what they could do with us? Seize our documents and put us in a cell.
Or you pay your way out.
Or we pay and go. And from the look of things, I think we decided to because they in fact they discovered the amount of money I had on me, safer. So what they decided to do is to tell us to give them some of it. We don't even know the difference between the currency anyway. give them some. I won't graduate too.
Yeah.
Give them some of it, and then we go. So I said, okay, which one do you want? As soon as they took what they want, they allowed us to go. As soon as we left them, I then told myself that in this town, we call the place Tabakunda.
Yeah.
As long as there are people here, there will be Ghanaians or Nigerians here. So let's look for them. And indeed, we were there when one boy came to pass sewing shoes. And then we asked him, and he said, oh, there are some Ghanaians there, go there. So we started going from Ghanaian, and the boys are there doing barbering. So these are the boys who became my masters. They started training me how to cut hair, how to make shoes, because that's the only way you can survive there. I tried contacting parents in the community whether I can teach their children, and they said yes, they can allow me to teach, but as long as I can speak French, and I can speak French except the little tiny ones. Bonjour, bonjour, those things. But you need to, because I made them realize I'm a graduate.
Okay,
so you need to treat me differently. But no, you have to earn. So I was with this young man, and I realized that they are hopeless. I was working for them. Can you imagine? When I say they are hopeless, they've settled down with girlfriends, going to club at night, you know, spending. And the Senegalese girls are very comfortable with them. But I have a different understanding that I know I must leave this place. So there was a boy called Peter. I work with him. And somebody else took the other boy too. So they were so nice. Now, with Peter, every evening after I've assisted him in his, we call the place coiffé.
Okay.
That where we cut hair. When I help him to do his daily job, he give me an amount. That is my chop money. In the morning we eat together. In the afternoon we eat together. At night I'm going. I have a place where I sleep. So he will give me some money.
Okay.
Anytime he give me the money, I spend some and leave some.
Okay. So you were saving.
So I was saving.
On the journey to Mauritania.
No! To become my own boss. To open my own coiffé. To start cutting my own hair.
Wow.
And making my own shoes. To get a place to sit too. And indeed I started. It wasn't easy because...
So you own a barbering shop in Senegal?
I could even own any barbering shop because it costs money to have a place.
To have a place.
And then have customers. It takes time. I'm not ready to stay long. I only need money.
So what did you do after you got some of the savings?
Some of the savings, I went to buy the materials for... I went to the boys who are making... There is a way they make the shoes. There is this rope for well. You know, you go into the well. They, you know, they have wells over there.
The shoes, so, like sandals, similar to Moses. Moses, God, here I am.
So the problem there is they are poor people.
Okay.
So when they are sleepers are eaten up,
you need to mend them.
You need to create, you see, it's the top that comes off.
Yes.
Because it's very, they made it to come off.
So you need to be able to.
So you will replicate that one, or you sew the old one down there. Sewing is not a problem, but it's cheap. If you can be able to replicate, use that rope to replicate the top, money.
You make
so
money.
It means you make charge higher. And there's something they call trek. So I went to the Nigerian.
That's in Senegal.
In Senegal.
Okay.
I don't speak the language, but I can communicate.
Survivor.
We will find a way around. And do you know one thing I noticed there? In that rural area, the French you see is for educated people who go to school. In their community, it's like you're in Ghana.
They speak their own dialect.
Thank you, Wolof. They speak Wolof. So now I have to either learn Wolof And when you are going to the rural areas, they don't understand that.
So how long were you there for?
I was there for some time because I started taking some moves. Sometimes I go to rural market. They have markets. And you need to go by free train. So you jump on the cargo train, you don't pay.
Okay. Because
if you take the normal train, the money you will make in what you are going to do will go for the transportation.
So basically you were stealing.
Call it anything. I was surviving. So you go and, I mean, I'm not sitting on there. I'm on the coach, but I'm not on there. And when they catch you, because they come to check.
When they catch you.
And at that time, you know, they have a problem in customers.
Okay.
So that's how the terrorists move, the rebels. So they check. So when they are coming to check, we need to find a way. So you don't sleep. I did this. I did all the things we can do. Where you have to pay, you pay. Where you have to take advantage, take advantage. I did it. I follow others until I do it alone, and I was able to raise enough money. But as I was doing that, there was a new development.
What was it?
A young man came, because you see, where we are is like a transit to Gambia. I don't know anything about Gambia. So one day, this guy came from Gambia. I've forgotten his name, Otis or something. Well built. And he says from the Gambia, has a flat there. You say, you have what flat in the Gambia? You.
Also a Ghanaian?
It's a Ghanaian. He's going to Ghana.
Okay.
So that is where they come before they take the train to Mali.
Okay.
You see? You have your family in Gambia. No. I'll go to that Gambia. But as he's saying that, it's not serious for me. To me. Then another person came. So my plan is when he's coming back, we'll go together to the Gambia. Because then they speak English.
Okay.
As I was waiting for the guy to come back, another person came with big bags. That one was going to the Gambia. He came from Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And I saw this guy well dressed, well posh. I mean, he looked decent. And what are you going to do? Where are you going to say Gambia? What are you going to do in the Gambia? He said, what? You don't know what people do in the Gambia? I'm a graduate. I'm going to Gambia to teach from Sierra Leone.
Okay.
I said, you are going to teach? He said, yes. You? He said, I can teach the president of the Gambia. He said, then everyone said, if you are a teacher, and you say you are a graduate, go to that Gambia.
Okay.
You will be a rich man.
So it was a challenge and you wanted to move on.
It became a challenge now. So I have to learn to take the train to do everything. And I save enough money. Then the day came. I have informants who tell me how to go because people will come and tell you they've gone to Gambia, they've been deported. Every day we see them being deported.
Oh,
they are not allowed.
Some get deported.
Yeah, because they have to check you at the border to enter Gambia.
So you need to know the ways and means.
You need to. So me, I didn't even bother myself. I made up my mind. I'm not going through the border.
Okay.
Now, then there are those who have information on how to enter the country without going through the border.
Through the unapproved and unauthorized.
Oh, it's authorized in a way. Because, you know, they have villages on there. You know, Gambia is like a land near on the sea. On that sea, you see, it's not what you see. There are land on it.
Yeah,
there are
like
a lot of islands. Yes. A lot. So these fishermen are those who go through the water. So they don't go by the main road. And that is one of the routes.
Okay.
So I was briefed and they told me how I'm going to go. And one day I just picked my bag. I've left. I'm gone. I got to the first place I'll be taking the boat. I was walking around. And the last thing is for anyone to even know that I am there. I just want to pass by. Nobody. Then some people came to me. They are these women who are selling fish. Ghanaian? I look at them, I say, you know, I use dirty language that you better leave me alone. Who is your Ghanaian? Don't talk to me. And they were insisting, you Ghanaian. So tell Ghanaian, not knowing they actually want to help me. So after some time, because I was scared to go and tell the police again and I'll be arrested. I don't want anything to do with their police. And that will, they can be very, very discomforting.
Okay.
So eventually they were able to introduce me. They discover that I'm a Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Then they say, we know one Ghanaian here. Papa is here. I say, which Papa? And then they took me. You know, there was once a man called Aka. Aka.
Vice President
Aka.
Yeah.
His cousin.
Okay.
You know, in Ghana, from the Gambia, Senegal, in the riverine area, they do ship this salted fish at that time to Ghana in containers. That is the job the man is doing. So he's an old politician. And he has retired there, but he has his family in the Gambia. So they took me to his house. And that is when we started talk. The man said, all his life, he's never met a person like this.
So fast forward that, Gambia, you ended up in Europe and...
In the Gambia, I went to the Gambia, and then the challenge is go and bring your certificate if you're a graduate. And so I have to go back to my university and brought the certificate. That is the condition on which but before then, I started initially cutting hair because I learned it on the way.
Oh yes, you need to survive.
First, survival. The next, just to get a place. Then the next thing was to start teaching people from house to house, private teacher. I did that for some time. Then when the school was on holiday, I now have to apply. But they needed so I have to go back to Ghana.
Wow.
And Nigeria to bring my certificate back. So I came back and I have to go by the journey I made earlier. I have to now make it again. I went and came back with it. And I had a job in one of the best top schools. It's called Mrs. Indao.
In Gambia?
In the Gambia.
Okay.
I was there for about eight years. But all the guys I'm working with is Europe is the destination. Except the few that have settled down with their family, wives and children. And we have Nigerian teachers, Ghanaian teachers.
So basically, gradually we're working our way to the final Greenland, which is
a lot of them are with me here. Some are in America. So when you are teaching these children, we work hard to teach them. But the children, because it's an affluent school, very expensive, my salary was very good in dollar. But the children are actually not interested in most of what we are teaching. They are only interested in going to that Europe or America or Canada. So it became that, well, if the children are going there, then the teacher too have to go and know what they are doing there. So the teacher started developing interest. So I wanted to go to the US. I did everything. I was really prepared. When I got to the interview section, the way the Americans treated me, I wasn't happy.
Okay, so now let's fast forward because of our time. So you ended up over here, and how long have you been in this country?
I didn't come here directly. I ended up in the Netherlands.
Okay, and
where
then...
I went to do my masters.
Okay,
so that's the way I came into Europe.
Okay,
I had admission from the Netherlands. I was supposed to be working and schooling, and then to be paying for my fee, but nobody was giving me a job. So I was only schooling and friends and so on were feeding me. I can't. So I contacted one way or the other, and I had a friend who is back, they've deported him.
Yeah.
So I started knowing that my students on Facebook are in the UK and they are having jobs. I said, what, Mariama? You in UK? She said, yes. You working? She said, yes. I left you when you were in the 3rd year. So you work there? She said, yes. I work in McDonald's. I work in this. I'm making my money. That UK, whatever happened, I'll come there.
So you are finally here.
So I came here. But remember, before I came, I had the opportunity. Remember, I've traveled across West Africa.
Yeah.
So any holiday in the Gambia, I go back to Ghana. And sometimes down to the Nigeria.
So when it comes to West Africa, we know you have a bit of in-depth knowledge about their culture and other which is the main thing that we're coming to. Because the topic, listeners, if you're watching and you're listening to us, our topic today, we're actually focusing on Africa. And we've carved the topic, the darker side of Ghana, a typical case of the African cultural challenge. We want to see the challenges that are inherent in our culture, and what is culture at all. We understand what we actually looking at. So that is why we're coming to. Kofi, you've been working, I know you so much into politics.
Yes.
Why?
Good. You remember in the Netherlands, because of the European Union, I happen to be traveling around. You can go to Germany, you can go to France, and I pass. Nobody check my border, my passport. That West Africa, Jesus Christ. They will check and they put you and take advantage of you. It's just too much.
So that pushed you into politics?
That now started giving me
interest.
So when I started settling down in UK, I was actually going to the US before I decided. When I went to France, when I went to the Netherlands, I said, wow, this is it. Then from the Netherlands, I went to Belgium. I said, it's even better here. Then I went to France. I said, what? I think this is where I'm coming to. This is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Then I went to Germany, Hamburg, because it's not far from my school, Enschede. Then I started realizing that the more I move, the more I learn. But because of job, I came to the UK. When I came to the UK, I spent more of my time reading to know what is special about here.
Okay.
And the more I learn, the more I understand the way they do things that makes it work.
Okay.
And then I started comparing that with the way we do things.
Back home in Africa.
On the continent of Africa, by my experience in West Africa.
Okay.
Remember, I'm one of the few people, I don't know whether you can ever imagine a person who went to, what do you call it, Woolwich. And walk through the tunnel from one end of the river to the other under there. And every 5 minutes I'll look at it. When did they build this one too? I'm one of the few people who goes to Canary Wharf and be looking at how can people build, there's water on top and you have this thing underground train and millions of people are down there. In my place it's only rats and gold diggers who go into the ground. Then I'm wondering about the way they build the lines. Then the structures they build on the underground. I am one of the few people who go and stand in London Bridge. You will be shocked in the morning. Looking at the millions and thousands of people that are going, and each of them is going to an office and they have a job and they are paid. And I can't just not understand how they organize themselves under the ground on the train. You see, when they are going one way, they are coming one way. And it's so beautiful
how
to me.
How the system is structured in such a way that it works in unison.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I have a problem with this organization.
And then you look back home and say, why are we not able to do that? So that's where the challenge is. And in your discovery, you found out that it's because it has to do with our culture.
It's a culture.
Why?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Then I started. Initially, I had certain factors that pushed me.
Yeah.
We are all human beings. There's a stage in our life where we discover things ourselves.
Kofi, hold on. Let me just appeal to our listeners. If you're actually watching or listening to us, please tell a friend to tell a friend this evening. This is Starr Radio and welcome to the Big Questions program. My name is Frank Davis and I have with me Mr. Kofi Ali. And please, we're looking at the question and the subject matter bordering on culture, but carved it in a way that will bring more meaning when we begin or before we finish the program. And what I'm going to urge you to do is to please press that button if you're actually watching on Facebook and share it on your timeline, on your in your groups and on your pages, please. And you can copy the link and again also and show your WhatsApp. Thank you for doing that. So tell me, we're not saying that you think that our underdevelopment, let me put it that way, that the underdevelopment of Africa is actually a cultural thing.
Absolutely. And that defines culture itself.
Okay. Let's hear you.
One of my definition of culture, initially my challenge has been economic challenges.
Okay.
Because that's my background. But later I realized that no, there's more to this problem than just economics. And then the economics itself is cultural anyway, defined in a certain way.
Yeah, anyway, man Joyce it. He also goes to London Bridge to
count people.
To count people. So you have a partner. You have a partner over there. So that's a very good one. Anyway.
And remember, it became my job because the last job I left, that's what I will now do daily.
Okay, all right. So now, continue. Yeah.
You see, I defined culture when I started writing my book.
Yeah.
Before I started writing the book, I wrote a lot of articles. I'll be boasting of nothing less than 150 articles published.
Okay.
And in most of my articles, I do have these issues. Whatever topic I take, like money, culture, politics, government, I need to really go deep. That's me. And on culture, I define culture as the way people do things that makes them do it better.
Okay.
As determined by their prevailing environmental circumstances.
Okay.
And therefore, so I've defined culture, the way people do things that makes them do it better, as determined by their environmental circumstances.
Okay.
So technically, if the environmental circumstances are changing,
right,
the culture will be changing. 100 years ago, what we have in Ghana, a place like Ghana, 100% of the people 500 years ago are pagans. Then culture changed. We became Christians and Muslims. Today, it's a different, now we have estates. See, culture has changed all along.
Right.
Now, in my book, I was trying to explain that culture has to do with group. Because in a group, is about problem solving. The way you individually solve a problem, that's how group has to exist as a living thing.
Okay.
In that, the group must be able to control its members so that they can be able to, because it's all about wealth creation and consumption. Value, we call it value creation and value consumption.
Okay.
Consumption means utilization. I'm going to economics. Utilization of wealth, resources. And the more we are able to create wealth, that is the wealth that is positive, the more we have a chance to survive.
Okay.
And the less we are able to do that, that is negative wealth. Like armed robbery, it's all working, but negatively, selling of cocaine, unnecessary fight. It creates social disharmony. And with that, it makes the culture struggle. The group become threatened. So every group design herself in controlling members to do more of what will make that group survive.
What will be positive or have positive impact.
Give them the opportunity to live tomorrow.
Okay.
Than to die. Because the last thing every one of us want to do is to die.
But we all want to go to heaven.
We all want to survive. Whether we go to heaven is another promise. And every culture has all their stories on how to make sure that psychologically they condition their members to live by the norm.
Okay.
Right? Now, if you take the so-called African culture, and this time I'm zeroing it to the Ghanaian culture.
Okay.
Now, you see, what we don't realize about culture is a dynamic thing.
It is.
Yeah, it's not a static thing.
Yeah.
So culture is changing daily. But one secret about culture, you are actually an individual, but a culture. But you don't realize. As an individual, your aim is to survive.
Right.
But all your life to survive, you must be consuming certain things that are also form of cultures. Those things that you are consuming is what is sustaining your survival. They are living things.
Okay.
So the more as you are consuming them, right? Also remember, subconsciously, you are conscious of something looking for you to consume you.
Right.
For example, if I and my son go to the forest, and a lion attack us and he eats my son, I'm the next, isn't it? And I look for a stick and I hit the lion, and today he ran away. Next time I will be thinking of how can I even hit him, so I sharpen my tool. That is cultural, a mechanism for survival. I stab the lion, now I've killed him, he's scared of me. So anytime, then soon I'll start going after the lion. So the more I'm evolving and upgrading my skills,
which is what our
ancestors have done
did,
for a long time.
Yeah.
Or basically what they are doing is to give them advantage in survival.
Okay.
So
and to tame the environment as well.
To control their environment.
That's it.
This is where there is a contention between the African, or I'll call it's not really African to me, because by my research is the medieval culture. Our culture for some reason have not migrated.
Okay.
It then remember.
So hold on. Take that again. That our culture has not migrated, meaning we have not
been able to evolve enough culturally to make us competitive in the global arena.
Okay.
And no culture is isolated. That's why you
have we been able to move, or basically migrated within our own environment?
Within our environment, there are changes, but most of the changes are influenced from outside, not within.
Which means that we are changing within our environment, but we're actually looking elsewhere. And therefore, there's kind of competing
interest. It's an influence from outside that is forcing us
to change.
To be evolved, to be changing.
To be changing. So basically, what you are saying is that our culture has not evolved naturally.
Our culture has not moved, evolved, changed, adjusted, and to relieve us. You see, there are, if you do something 100 years ago,
right,
and you try to do the same thing now, in your environment, things are changing, and there's competition between you and them. And therefore, if you don't adjust yourself, they will consume you up.
Okay.
You see where we are coming from?
Yeah.
They will then determine, if they don't eliminate you, they will determine how you live. Let me give you a good example. When the Europeans were going to America, they first have to discover how to make ships, big ships.
Right.
When they got there, they met a civilization, the Incas. They met the Red Indians. They have everything like us on the continent of Africa.
True.
The difference is that the Europeans have the upper weapons, more superior culture. And because of that, they were able to exterminate the other people and took the what? The land. And today, when you go to America, the controlling culture is the European replication. It's not the Red Indian culture that was originally on the land. We don't even know. Maybe the Red Indians who went to eliminate somebody because it has been the trend all along anyway. Maybe some millions of years ago. But we know that when they came to West Africa, they met us in groups. That groups was doing nothing. My book was explaining it. I think I know it was in the history. I was writing another book called The Journey Through Ghana. Okay. What they did, they didn't meet Ghana. They didn't meet Ghana. That word Ghana never existed.
Right. Yeah, it never existed.
The word Ghana was only associated with the Ghana Empire.
Even the word African never existed.
Fine. Fine. We don't know the name, but now we call it Africa.
Yeah.
But the word Ghana, that Ghana Empire, some people say it's actually not. If you interpret the word Ghana, Ga means Ga, the people of Accra. Na means the edge of Ga land. That is it, Ghana. You understand? The edge of the
and another person also tell you that it says Ghana, God has appointed Nkrumah already.
Thank you very much. So, whichever way you come, this Ghana you see today is a formation by the British.
Okay, now hold on for me. Might Man is asking, so where do we place common sense in our culture as regarding to Europe and the world? Yeah, I think we'll come to that question. Yeah, go on.
You see, what people don't realize is that when Ghana was formed, those who form it have their own plan. You see, what they will have done is exterminate all of us. And then bring people from somewhere and occupy the place like they did in America. Okay. They encourage the people from Europe to go there and encourage, it's planned. In our case, there was supposed to be a transition to a different culture. Now, let me come to culture again. I think we are running away from the keyword.
No, we're not running away from the keyword. We're going to be coming, because my next question is going to come straight to that aspect about the darker side
of Ghana.
Good. Which has to do with, if you look at the way we weather the typical case of the challenges that are inherent within African culture. So I presume that darker side will be the bad aspect, and how our culture has actually been an impediment. So we will come to those points after this your submission.
Thank you very much. We'll come, because we are coming to that. I'll hold on to that.
Yeah.
But you see, Ghana as it is. Yeah. The reason why I can relate with you, if you bring a Togolese, I'll be having a problem with him.
Right.
The reason is you and I share a culture, and that culture is called the Ghanaian culture. We understand ourselves more. The Togolese will have a difference with the man from the Benin Republic, because the Benin Republic, though they are all French background, their cultures in a way, because there are two groups. So if culture is about groups, then you say in Ghana, how many groups do we have?
About 76 the last time I checked.
Oh, if you have 76 groups, then you have a recipe for disaster.
We have about 76 dialects, and my presumption therefore is that if we have 76 different dialects in Kenya, I think they have about 200. If we have that
76,
then we presume that all these dialects are homogeneous, are groups.
Good, and each is a culture. That's the disaster. When then we migrate to a place like this, and you look at them, the way they live, you see that the culture is fundamentally one. English culture.
To a very large extent.
To a very large extent. Yeah. In fact, the diversity is more with the migrants.
You call it a 10%.
With the migrants.
Yeah. Even if you look at the typical you look at Britain. If you take the UK, for instance, you want to look at the
Welsh,
you want to look at the northern part of England, from the Liverpool, the Carlisle, and all those areas, and then you want to look at the Scottish, and then you want to look at the Irish. Then come to the southern part of the thing. The variance in culture and what they do is
slightly.
It's very, 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 very negligible.
Good. The variance is even the language. Yeah. There's only one dominant language, which is the English.
Yes.
Good. And that then tell you that the culture and the language are very close. And therefore, it's one of the traits of culture, the language, because you identify a person by the way he speaks. And culture has something to do with identity, your person. What people judge you by your culture, and they can be able to predict what you can do by your culture. And therefore, it then brings us to say, in Ghana, do we have cultural challenge? Yes. And it's not only in Ghana, it's all the continent, the diversity. Okay. And daily, these things present themselves when we are trying to deal with serious problems.
Okay, now, so Kofi, now we've actually got to a point where I need to just go straight to those challenges. And listeners, thank you for joining us. If you tune in, you like to join, you can call us in the studio. The lines will be open very shortly. Mary Anaba Ado, good evening to you. I think you are in Glasgow as we speak. Hello. You can join us via phone number 0208133227. And the topic we're looking at is the darker side of Ghana, a typical case of the African cultural challenge. And I have with me Kofi Ali, who is actually my guest on the big questions today. So Kofi, now let's go straight. You said the darker side of Ghana. What are some of those culture, cultural traits that you can call impediments, which in this case we're looking at it, what we call it the darker side, things that we wish they were not part of us, or we wish we can get rid of to pave way for accelerated development, which but because of those things we're still where we are. Which my understanding therefore it means that unless those things change, it doesn't matter whoever we elect as a president, whoever our leader becomes, development is going to be a problem. Yeah. As long as those darker sides still form parts of our survival and our daily quest for progress.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would say, what is the culture of Ghana? And when somebody asks, what is the culture of Ghana? Most people will give you a version of the Chi culture. Some will give you Akan culture. What about the Ewe? What about the Frafras? What about the Dagatis? And there are so many parts, even the Fantis and the Ashantis have slight differences. And therefore, that in itself, we have a lot, each of the group as you see them. Yeah. And within they are subdivided. These are the institution of governance of our ancestors, and that are cultural groups, right? But Ghana itself, what is the culture of Ghana? Then you ask yourself, officially, what is the language of Ghana?
English.
Thank you. And who formed Ghana?
Well, the Europeans,
the British, the English.
Yeah,
the one that formed it, the one that formed the entity. Yeah, that culture is the culture of Ghana. So our constitution, our laws, our institutions are designed on that culture. Yeah. And therefore, that is a culture we were expecting future generation to adopt. Okay. For their, if they had all adopted that, it means we are going to have one system of government. Right now, the darker side of Ghana is talking about the informal. Now it's somehow formal because it's enshrined into the constitution. We are talking about what most people will call the traditional institution. Okay. They are doing the same thing as the ones we elect are doing. So we have two institutions here. Now check. Law in one is not the law in the other. Right. Justice in one is different from the justice in the other. Forget about the religious groups, which are also somehow the same. Now, if then we are trying to develop a person by his education, by his ideology, by his understanding of our problem as a nation. Okay. So that I have a straight mind to go into development and catch up with the rest of the world. And this same person is entrenched or trapped in nefarious, questionable institutions. Okay. In our constitution, we say no child born in Ghana must have a mark on his body. Okay. But in certain institutions, as cultures that we tolerate and accommodate,
we have tribal marks.
They do that. Now they don't give their members. They believe they own the people. Yeah. Because that is the system. That's the original system. The man and his master. Right. the woman and her husband. But we are in a different terrain now. So the problem is, he believes he owned the child. He has marked the child because he's not giving that child birth certificate. He's not going to give that child passport. He's not giving the child ID card. We are giving the child ID card. He wants to use the child on the farm. We want the child to be in the classroom. So there are two institutions. The formal one, and to a large extent, the informal one that we call our cultural institution, traditional institution. They are playing their politics. They are abusing people. They are conditioning and destroying people that are going to be working in another area that will need them to work. And so they get there destroyed.
Okay, so basically what I'm getting is that my understanding is that there's conflict.
There is technically.
So basically, we are, let me, for a lack of a better word, sandwiched between two powerful forces.
Thank you.
And in that struggle to find where we head, our direction, are we going to be former? When we describe former, are we going to be like the Europeans? Good. Or we're going to go the traditional way?
Thank you.
We've lost the focus, which should be how do we perfect our system to be able to survive?
Well, that is the question, is which one is our system? Be patient. You see, those who form the centralized government, the parliament, the court of justice, and so on and so forth, that those are the institutions that build modern day roads.
Right.
The old one was there before they came. Like the Bible will say, you don't put the new one into the old skin.
Yeah.
He said, I've come to change the old ways. That's the gospel. I don't want to be a preacher today. I'm not religious, actually.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is that, you see, you can't do things the old way and get a new answer.
Okay.
So what we are struggling with is those institutions you see, they do exactly what the modern one is doing. But they are doing it in the olden way.
So we have a cultural identity crisis.
There is two culture fighting themselves.
Okay.
So what we are basically doing, our people are confused of which is which.
No, I don't even, I will even go as far as saying, because I've argued this point before, and my contention is that we even have a third force, which is the religious aspect of it.
For now, we even want to for now. You see, when we bring everything to the basket, it's going to be a big problem.
Okay, all right.
We are looking at these two forces.
Okay.
Unfortunately for us in Ghana, and you see, culture. One thing about culture is that we say it's an evolving thing.
Yeah.
There are two ways you change culture. You intentionally have people with wisdom to design culture the way they want it to go. Or you sit down and you swim with the forces and they take you to where you don't want to go to. What we are doing now, because we are not clear, because when the colonial masters came, they are fully aware. If we became like the Americans and can be like the Australians and adopt this working system, because what they have is really working with the modern way.
Yeah.
What we have is struggling with the future. So the future is the one they have brought, because that's the central government they created for us.
Okay.
And some of us are saying, no, let's keep the one of our fathers. The one for our fathers is not designed to work this system. And so there is a problem. There's serious problem. And moreover, we don't have even the indigenous one, a centralized one, which some people are trying to do now by the back door. What we have are assortment of groups which you don't have in this country. When the police come to your house in this country, it's coming to seriously deal with you. In Ghana, you go and meet a group. The man, I have a job, I'm a police officer. I have my father, he has moved to my house. He brought my mother, maybe she's even my stepmother, and he has another 2 wives. Then my brothers who are unemployed are also living with me. My plan is to bring up my children. That's the salary I'm paid. But these people are living on me. My junior brother has no job, he's living with me. So technically, because I was also brought up by my uncle, his children have moved to my house. We have what we call collectivism. When I go to work, I need to take care of my children. But my father is also there. He's sick today. He's sick today. There's no social system to take care of him. I will soon start collecting bribe. So technically, the culture itself has created that cocoon. You understand? Where the new one is supposed to be open. You and you. Because the modern culture is designed around you.
Okay.
The Asian culture is designed around the group. We call it group think. So you can't take the credit. You are always under somebody. and that cronyism, you understand, nepotism steps in. Oh, now somebody has insulted the Northerners. And then before you know, tribes start getting together and they are starting war.
Yeah. Because
the groups are there. And anytime you have groups, people will take advantage of them.
So, Kofi, what you are actually saying that development, as we want to look at it across Africa, we're not going to be able to move forward if we are not able to first find out what we actually, the direction we want to go. If we want to abandon the struggle or our culture or what we call, which is very difficult to define anyway, where we are and what from the angle you are arguing from, because it's dynamic. Whether I want to go the traditional way, someone will ask or someone will say, if culture is the way a group of people live, then whatever we take from the foreign, we learn, whatever we've adopted, the way we live now is our present culture.
Yes, it's our present unproductive culture. We have to understand. Yeah. Culture is like, the other time I was trying to put culture, it's like addiction, alcohol. You actually didn't start it too. Some people were doing it. You only inherited it.
But you also contribute to its modification and
you were born into it.
But you also contribute to
until you are growing.
Okay.
So it's a group. They tell you what to do. So you are designed. You are designed to grow.
But earlier on, you made mention of the fact that if people have wisdom can design system, means that if I am able to design a system that works or change something within a prevailing practice, it means that I have actually affected that culture.
Yes. You see, when Kwame Nkrumah came in, he saw that challenge and he was serious about breaking the back. Because remember, these are powerful institutions.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
Because the chiefs want to also be recognized.
Thank you.
The Queen Mother wants to be recognized.
In fact, they own the land.
Yes, they do.
But really, we are supposed to have one culture, and that is the government of Ghana.
Okay.
Good. So now, when you are asking which of them, we have 27 groups. And each group is doing what they like. They are not allowing the children to get liberation. So that we can focus on one thing, the government of Ghana. So when we are all focused, it means you can leave Accra and go to maybe Kumasi. There will be a council house for you. Because it will not be indigenously tribal or ethno-tribal group who own the place. Everyone, like they do here, when you move from Scotland to here, they will give you your place. All you do is to go to the council. In our case, in fact, even when we formed the council, they've destroyed all. Why? Because the traditional rulers are managing the people down there.
Okay.
And when we get up, we say we are bringing development, we are going to buy the development. What we are buying is other people's culture. Yes. All these things are tools, so they are cultural.
So, Kofi, what we're looking at, so the darker side you are looking at and you are arguing about mainly here is our traditional culture. Is that what
you call it traditional? Maybe we have not even defined the word properly. You see, in my definition of culture, which my book addressed, there are 5 key components of culture.
Which are?
1, politics. 2, law. 3, institutions. 4, tradition. 5, history.
Okay, now hold on for me. I will take them again. Might Man Joy again asked chipped in a comment saying there's no best culture in anywhere in the world. The only difference is when a common sense is applied in any given situation. What do you say to that, Kofi?
Common sense alone in any given situation. Whose common sense?
But do you agree with
whose common sense?
I mean, individuals who are living within.
You are talking about the leader. Is it my? For example, I have my house. My common sense in my house is how I want my wife and my children to live. Because I control the day. Assuming my wife is working, then we talk about we have to get a consensus because we are partners in this case. Right. She's working. But if I'm putting out the money, then my common sense is the only common sense. My child has his common sense. I want to tell him what to do. Now, when you have a country whose common sense, the president, Isn't it? The parliament, common sense. So culture is not about one person, it's about people.
All right. So within that group, there will be acceptable norms and there will be do's and don'ts.
That is
where common sense comes in, isn't it?
Institutions, that is where institutions, law and law. You know, I was talking about law. I mentioned politicians. What do they talk about on radio every day? Common sense. But common sense,
it's not common anyway.
It's your opinion. This is our constitution. And in the constitution, we've stated how we want to live. How we want our people to live. How our people to do things.
Some of which conflict with our traditional.
No.
They conflict with our traditional,
our traditional way of doing things.
Yeah.
What we don't realize is that that's why we have parliament. And there are 227 constituencies. Is it 275?
75 now.
75 constituencies.
Yeah, 275.
What we are trying to do is we are changing the culture from the center. So everybody in their locality defined as a constituency, choose somebody who has convinced you. You think he has a common sense of how that culture should be for the next generation. To go to parliament and they will sit down and argue it. When they agree on something by their consensus, majority, maybe they want a road where there is a tree we worship all 1,000 years. Now they want to build a road there. And they agree. As soon as they agree, it will be codified as law. That is, you see, I mentioned law. They are going to enforce the law through what you call institutions.
Right.
The institutions are those who come to your house every day and make sure that you are following the prescription. Now, our common sense then come in. Okay, if I'm driving a car, it's a machine. I'm moving the car. My common sense tell me that the red is on. I have to stop. Isn't it?
Yeah.
If the red is not on, then I'll use my personal common sense. Then accident is likely to happen because your common sense is different from my common sense. So common sense is not what you use to manage a country. What you need is law.
Okay, so your argument here is that because of the conflict that we have in our laws with the traditional
call it
system.
Indigenous, because when you say traditional, let me do something.
Okay.
Do you know that Independence Day in Ghana today is traditional? When we say something is traditional,
it's because it's become a practice now.
Thank you.
Right, okay.
So it's something that because of something that happened in the past, like fasting, like prayers, like going to Christmas, these are all tradition.
Okay.
Something happened in the past, and the people in the past decided to put that thing.
But Kofi, I agree with you to a large extent because there are clear examples that you can see where that conflict between what is being done down there
and what should be done in the future.
What is being done. No, even what. Okay. Let's take a classic example of female
mutilation.
What they call
genital mutilation.
Genital mutilation.
FGM.
A tribe will see it as what they want to do.
Yes.
Right? And according to their indigenous practices,
they do it.
They do it. But we have a constitution, which is a super law.
It's supposed to be the super law
over those
laws,
indigenous practices,
good,
which sees those things as crime,
unacceptable.
So within that space, you having a family bringing up a child in a confused state.
Thank you.
Okay, because one, are they going to go with what has been passed down to them that this is the way we do it, or what was written in Nairobi by the parliament, or what was written in Addis Ababa, or what was put together in Togo in 1992, or what was put together and voted for in 1992 in Ghana.
Yes.
So in certain cases, you can see that clear case of conflict which will leave the household, which is what I called the smaller units of every societal organization, very confused.
Yes.
But in other cases, I think those institutions can work in harmony. For instance, if you take a situation like protection of our water bodies, we have taboos that safeguard certain rivers. For instance, when people are celebrating Homo, there are days they tell you don't go to fish, or you don't go to fishing because they have reasons. And those reasons could be they want to preserve or they want to set aside a day where the the fishes and other things can have a freedom and probably breed.
Well, you see,
so they can, in certain situations, they can work in harmony. How
be patient. Be patient. Where you will see the let's start with the FGM.
Yeah.
You see, I mentioned something when I was defining culture.
Yeah.
And remember, there are 47 different definitions of culture.
Right.
And tradition and so on. But it looked like we have just taken one. Headless people, and we are running with it.
Yeah, because of our...
You ask everyone, they say, oh, culture is the way people live. No, there's more to culture than that.
True.
Good, let's move on. You see, when you take FGM, I mentioned something when I was defining, when I was giving you the 5 elements of culture.
Okay, someone said, he's from Togo and Benin, so
FGM.
Thank you.
Now, what we didn't do is to look at the history of that FGM. Why do people do FGM? You see, culture or tradition can be intoxicating. I said it's like alcohol addiction. So you are in it, you feel that is who you are, that's what you are. Even if it's bad, even if it's bad, you want to do it.
Yeah.
So it takes so much to get a person, because it's like drugs. The person doesn't know that drugs is destroying him, so he's taking it and feeling is a solution. That is how tradition and culture works. Now let's go to female genital mutilation. What we need to do when you want to change people's culture, they say look at their history. Why should some old people come and say our fathers have been cutting it, so we shall cut it? And remember, it's institutionalized. I don't know whether you understand the use of that word.
Yeah.
It is not just a man give birth to a child and say, come and cut my son for me. No, or daughter. There are elders who go and pick the child and go and cut it, because they believe in something. So let us look at the belief and the history of the belief. Now, we lived in an area. We had diseases that are killing seriously in those days. Nobody know where the disease come from. It could be natural disaster. Nobody know what is coming from. And we had slave trade, raiding of villages so that they can take their land. So what you are doing, and they could be farming. So remember how many years we spent taking people across the Sahara Desert, slave trade, before this one came. And remember, even till now, people fight over land. They have been doing that for a very long time. Then at transatlantic. Then remember the kind of, we were lucky. The kind of diseases we survive. It takes, a disease can come and wipe the whole community. And then you talk about farming. So if you look at our tradition, you see that our tradition was designed around something until recently. One man can marry 50 wives. Yes. It's not, we marry as much. Why? That man is marrying 50 wives. Because we need to boost the population. Population must grow. But when you have a man with 50 wives and all of them are sexually active, wow, they want the woman to be ready only to have babies, not to be sensitive. So you need to disable her.
So pleasure was out of the equation.
They call you report.
You are a breeder.
You are a breeder. So you see a small girl, she's a property actually of the man. You buy her from her parents. You give them some cows in some cases. You understand? The society was designed so that they'll give you more land. They count your wealth by the number of children you have. So that's why we have the clan system. Now, if you want the woman to not to be sexually, the boys are with her farming, she must be able to, you understand, you should be able to design her not to, she obey, but she doesn't have sensitivity. This is what our ancestors did for a long time, right? And they were giving birth to children, because soon the children will go to war. That's why they give you tribal marks, so that they know who they are going to kill, because it is machete attack.
I've witnessed it before during the Kunkumba and Anumba
Thank you.
War.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
it was not a joke.
The northern part of this, and where they come knocking at your
now
door.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Education of one child is almost, you pay school fees and you are crying on the continent. Everything is expensive. The child is even useless, because when they finish, they don't have a job. If they have the job, they only take care of themselves, their wife. How many do you want to have? Therefore, the empowerment of the woman has to change. We can't continue the old way.
True.
To empower the woman, it means she must have control over her sexuality. It means the culture has to change. She must be able to say yes and say no this time. And she to have that power, we need to attack the culture. And we need to get the history clear.
Okay.
You don't need too many children now. Therefore, you have to be sensitive and decide.
Okay, so which calls for education?
Education, but law. You see, we discovered that if you can have a professor, with all due respect, our Speaker of Parliament, Ghana, and he talks the way he talks, right? That tells you that education alone is not good enough in cultural change. Education is important. Some people are educated, but they are worse than those who never been to school in their belief. They hold certain belief. Can you imagine Ghana today? If I tell you, when some people are celebrating their whatever they are celebrating, they do cut hair, you won't believe it. It took Rawlings gun to tell people that when your king die, you don't bury him with head. You've forgotten.
Yeah,
my mother will make sure we don't go out. A king is dead.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to go from there. Education. But you know how many years we've been going to school under the colonial masters before we had independent? All Kwame Nkrumah and Co, they were born. When they were born, they were professors already in Ghana.
Yeah.
People like John Mensah Saba, they have done everything. But still, education alone is not good enough.
Okay.
That is why you need...
Again, now again we'll come to what sort of education will be fit for our society. Because if, for instance, we need to change some of these practices, people first need to get to understand how those practices came to be.
Yes.
And that is what will inform and will readily get people to accept transformation and change. Which means that we first need to start looking at how we can educate our communities to be able to understand that the practices that we have actually been passed or taught are not divine. They were not commissioned by divine, they were environmentally determined.
Yes.
They were environmentally determined. For instance, someone will tell you that at night, when you bath, you don't bath at night. They'll tell you that you don't whistle at night, because when you whistle, you're calling the ghost.
Yes.
Simply it's because you wake up you disturb the others.
Yes.
They tell you don't sweep at night. Simply because something valuable might fall down and you must sweep it. But up to date, people still believe that
what you are sweeping.
When you sweep at night, you are sweeping
away the blessing of the house.
Or the ghost will come in midnight. So it becomes a taboo that past certain time you can't sweep. Meanwhile, today you can lit up your room
and hoover your room. Not even sweep. You can see things are changing.
So we need to start getting to understand the practices that we know how they came to be institutionalized and how we have moved from that time to today, and what lies ahead of us, and how we can modify it and do away with something. For instance, you take a case like Trokosi system.
Thank you. I'm writing a book on that, you know.
We cannot say that the crime of someone should be paid or should be a burden on
another person.
On another one. I mean, it's the person Jesus.
That's what we are doing.
We're not Jesus. And this is not only about Ghana. You go through all across Africa.
Almost all. We are using human part.
That
you can use somebody albino's hand and you'll be making money. And all of us are poor. And yet we have albinos walking around. So that tells you that we agree with, you see, the element of education is very important.
Right.
But there's something about education, enforcement. And enforcement comes with law.
Yeah.
We must make the laws. The institutions must be designed by the laws, and there must be enforcement. When you go to Accra, as I talk to you now, look at your beautiful face, my brother Archie. Look at my face. I can go to anywhere and come back home. Apart from my passport, if I don't want you to identify me, you can't. Can you see somebody in a bus, they have mutilated his face. Mutilated and disturbed this man. Everywhere he goes, he's guilty. Because the people doesn't want to know him, they know him already.
And the person had no choice the time he was being...
He has been made a disabled. And this is a child who didn't choose. I had a friend where he's a lecturer in University of Legon now. What do you call it? Foreign languages. He's one of the head of department. He has a mark. When we're children in Kanda school, he always tell me, seems to be more intelligent than most of us. He said when he goes to America, he will remove this mark from there. And simple, mark here. Abbas. And what I'm trying to bring here is that I think I think you go to Accra today and you see children passing and they've done this to them, done that to them, done that to them. And you are asking, what choice has this child? Tomorrow, if the child don't want it, what happens? You see, so education is not enough. Do you register every child born? Who goes to the house to make sure the child is healthy? Where is the child at any point in time? Is he supposed to be in school and he's not in school? These are the things we prepare the children of tomorrow. And why is school expensive? So if we're able to do this, we'll get to the root of the culture. And another important thing, you see the institutions that do it. I remember I met a man in Accra, a man with big marks. And I was joking with him where we were having a nice time. And I said, look at the way they litter your face, they do to your face. I didn't say litter. Look at the marks they give you. And he's proud of his mark. I say, what about your, because he has no choice anyway. He doesn't know any different. I say, what about your children? He said, I gave birth to 4 there in the north and 6 here in Accra when I came to Accra. The ones in Accra now, they speak Ga. You dare not touch them. Nobody has cut their face. The ones in the north, the elders have caught them. So it's institutionalized. You remember I said institution when I'm talking about culture. Yeah. And I mentioned law, and I mentioned history, and I mentioned tradition, and I mentioned politics. People do not see, when you say a politician, it's not just the person who goes to parliament. A politician is an activist, is a politician. Anyone, any person who wants to influence the way people are deciding how they do things, and you want them to do it in a certain way, whether you are doing it religiously or traditionally or in the modern way, you are a politician. So technically, that means when we want to discourage a practice like mafia godfathers, you need to destroy the institution. Abraham Lincoln said, for every man to be free in this land, no man must own another man. The technically slave trade, slave ownership on plantation must end. Because Obama will have been a property. How can a property be a president? And therefore our traditional system is disempowering.
Before we finish, now bringing it down again and linking it to politics. We know have you heard about the Green Revolution, the book that was written by Gaddafi? The late.
Yes, I saw the Green Revolution.
Gaddafi. If you look at the system that he designed and what he was in Libya, and what he was actually advocating for as a way of governance, the governance system.
Yes.
Not a social. His socialist government was
modernized. Yes.
Was not a type of socialist, a traditional. Yes, I will not call it socialist.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll put it as communist, socialist. It's between communism and social, but I don't want us to get to
something
technical.
That worked.
Now, but how it was built on the existing traditional systems. So what happened was the clan system, the traditional way of governance. Now, we go to the chief or the king's palace, elect a representative. And that representative then goes to represent us in the upper house. So once we can have, let's say, if you get to every village, there are clans. The clans will then elect someone to go and represent them in the chief palace. That community will then elect someone to go to the next, let's say, like the way we have the district assembly. So it goes to that structure to where we have the people's assembly at the national level. Which, if you look at it technically, it is about the local government system where we have the assemblymen being elected. The assemblymen then go to the district level to elect a presiding officer, some getting nominated by the president. Then we get to the regional where we have the regional minister, although we do not have a regional assembly. Are you getting me? Then we end up at parliament, which was the same thing. But he succeeded in using the governance system that I'm not talking about the practices. I'm talking about the way the system was governed locally with a bit of modern system. But we came and said it wasn't good.
Yes, it wasn't good.
Why?
You see, you can't govern people based on their, how do I say, the fact that indigenously they are one.
But it was working for them.
Well, if it has worked for them, he's not there anymore. Yes, if you are poor. You know this country, the system you said is practicing, right? If they do it in this country, you and I will not be here. Well, you and I, our life, is it not better here?
Yeah, but by the end of Kofi, he was actually doing it within a system which is different from I mean this, you know,
what he worked on was equality of man. We call it sawa jamaria. And what he was working on, though the clan system were there, he was working on what you call what do you call it, there's no direct freedom.
This is
remember
Starr Radio
he was doing it
UK.
for, although he want everyone to feel equal, the same. Today the country is on fire because the country is on fire simply because people felt they could have done more, because it's a structured system and everybody was just directly being controlled. You can't say things, they will go and report to him. You don't want that kind of system. You want a system that is in a way liberal, at the same time all inclusive. I don't think you could be better than me because your father was the chief, or you have a blood better than my own. We are all citizens. If the best person should get up there. But I believe that for the best person to get there, regardless to your creed and our Constitution of Ghana was very clear on that. Your creed or culture or your status or whatever should not be your stumbling block.
Okay.
However, when you then have people who by their heritage, according to them, their fathers, their great-grandfathers who led some wars and they inherited land, they actually didn't inherit the land. They were holding the land in trust. But as the father was dying, the first chief handed it over to his son. The other son had, and then they were treating the people in the community as if they are their property. Right? You go to your farm, you bring food, they take some, they feed you, lose some food. And if you can't bring that into the modern world. We are not running a monarchy. That's why we declared a republic. We declared a republic. Libya is not a republic.
But in this country, we have a monarchy where our taxes, some of them goes to the queen.
Yes, in this country, indeed, they have advanced with their system. And they have a queen here. But when you look at the queen is only one.
But he has a whole family.
How many family? Name them. Name them.
From the prince, from the
we know them.
The Phillips and
then the Phillips, and then what?
Call it Edward.
Let me tell you, in London here, they even carry themselves as chiefs. You see, our own is loose, but we are not lucky. We don't have one central monarchy. We have so many. Though we have one powerful one, but we have so many. Togbe say this one, that one. Yana say that tomorrow they start fighting over meat in the marketplace, and you don't even know. And anytime they start the fighting, we run into the bush. The darker side of Ghana. We run into the bush. We leave the town for them. Okay. The gun they have, our police don't have it. Children don't go to school because of these people.
Okay.
So to me, and people take advantage of that because they can intimidate a president. What is this? We don't need that in Ghana.
Okay.
We want a system where the president make decision based on the will of the people, not on the will. Some people give letter to people, go and give it to the president.
In conclusion, what will you advocate if we want to get rid of the darker side of our culture?
You see, the darker side will die away. It will die away, natural death. But those of us who believe it's not the way forward, like it's protected in our constitution, that's the only problem I have. I think we should remove that darker side from our constitution, so that the way the churches are competing for membership, the mosque are compared, the Muslims are competing for membership, let the traditional people also compete for membership, but all the land will go to the states. When we are able to do this, what we are going to have is people who can tell, most educated people look at them in the face and say, go to hell, leave me alone. People do, they do it to people in the bush. So we are trying to say that modernization is freedom. It has a lot of disadvantages, but far more advantages. We want our children to be able to build submarine. We don't want to be by roads again. We are tired. So the darker side of Ghana will go away. But first of all, the protection the system is getting, that confused people go and be calling this our culture. Backwardness, you call it culture. We want to tell them culture must be defined properly. And people like myself, that's why we're in politics. So that we shall say the truth the way we see it. And let the people decide what they want. This is why we are proud. We are democratic. We are multi-party. So we are free. And Kofi Ali, we are doing wonderful job. So that is why I'm in politics, to change culture. However, maybe it won't be in my lifetime, but I'm sure we shall move the stone to somewhere where other great people will move it to the next level.
In every culture and every some people plant trees. The people who plant them might not live to see the fruits. Tree. Someone will come and water them, and those who water the trees might not be those who harvest the fruits. And people, some might harvest the fruits, might not be those who eat them. But at the end of the day, generation must continue. We must all continue to do our part, the little that we can, to improve upon the quality of life that God has actually planted us on this earth to enjoy. It doesn't matter wherever you are, you can actually impact on your society. Yes, tradition, indigenous practice, culture, whatever you decide to call it. There are practices that we think, and a lot of you agree, that are not helping us, and we must try to do, or be informed and see how best we can actually contribute our quota in modifying things that are not helping us. What is not helping us, let's do away with it. What is helping us, let's preserve it. We're not saying we should lose our identity, and we're not saying we should lose who we are, but we are saying when some practices are not auguring well for the advancement of our continent, it's about time we call them part of the darker sides of our communities. Have a wonderful evening, and it'd be wonderful having you. Kofi, is there anyone you want to say hi to before you want to give a shout out to before we finish?
For now, I will say thank you very much for having me on, and I hope the little we've said will go down there. Nobody hates what we are or what we do. We are proud of what we are, but we want to be greater than what we are currently. And any people, in fact, in business, they said you must count your chicken every day. Every minute matters. If you are not changing things and adding value to life, you are stagnant. You'll be eaten up. So let us build and move and change. Look at China. We can do better. Thank you very much.
Right, listeners, thank you very much. That was Kofi. It's been wonderful having all of you, and thank you for your comment, your message. For those of you who have joined us on Facebook, a lot, over 7,000 of you join us this evening on our app. We know we normally get about twice the number on Facebook around this time, and those of you on Smart View TV, I can't thank you enough. Those on YouTube, those of you on Z Live, those of you on Streamer, those of you on Daily Motion and following us, please thank you very much. It's been me, Frank Davis, hosting Kofi Ali on the Big Questions program. Don't forget, tomorrow at exactly 7 o'clock we take you to the Focus on Africa. 10 o'clock Archie will be here with Starr Radio, second part of the morning show from 10 to 12 o'clock, where we'll cross over to Parliament to bring you the Prime Minister's question time or parliamentary discussion. They are very, very important discussion that you must not miss. We tell you that, listen, please download our app. It's free. Go to your app store. It's free. The podcast for this program and all other programs are also available on our portal. If you download our app, you should be able to get it, and you can listen over and over again. The videos are on YouTube. You can watch them over and over again. If you want to question, if you've been affected in a way, you have questions that you want clarification, or you even want to pass on, you want us to pass on. Kofi will be giving his details. Kofi, you want people to contact you if they may?
Oh yes,
please give your details. Give your phone number before we say.
Well, the number is 077-3722-4787.
Okay. Where can they get a book to buy? Finally, before
it's on Amazon.
The book is on Amazon, and the title again is "The Leader at the Darker Side of Ghana: A Typical Case of the African Culture," and it's by Kofi Ali. So, listeners, wherever you are, this is a book. You can see it. For those of you watching us on those platforms, it's actually that's a book. You can actually go for that, and I urge you, please. You know what? How much is it?
Well, I've not been monitoring the price, but I think it's a bit expensive. But there is the softer copy, so I think it's about £12.
It's about £12,
and the hard copy is about £17 or £18.
Okay, fine. So basically, listeners,
and it's very good for those in the academics because there are so many references in it.
Okay,
so many work done.
I've seen a lot of references.
Really, you have your footnotes.
Yeah.
So everything we have there are clearly explained.
Yeah.
Especially for those of us who are in the academics.
Okay.
It's really helpful because you need to, even if you disagree with most of what we are saying, it's good at least to see the arguments.
Yeah.
And then
exactly, because through those arguments, contestation of ideas actually, always invariably leads to the progress of a society. So
absolutely,
we welcome it, and we'd like to say very big thank you once again, Kofi. We're grateful for you coming to the Grace studio. So on that note, listeners, I'll leave you and say thank you very much. Have a blessed evening.
The IWFT team presents Footprints on Star Radio UK with your host Oscar Bimpong every Thursday at 7 p.m. Star Radio UK, your finest Afro-Caribbean station in London.